Close your eyes and imagine standing beneath a glowing orange dawn. The air hums softly. The ground beneath your feet is damp. Waves crash in the distance. You're on Mars, but not the Mars we know today. 1 billion years ago, this planet was alive. The air was thicker, warm enough to breathe. Oceans shimmered beneath copper-colored clouds. 2 small moons hung above, Phobos and Deimos, spinning fast through the sky like restless guardians. Mountains taller than Everest pierced the clouds. Massive rivers cut across endless plains, feeding green marshes and crystal blue lakes. The sound of thunder rolled across valleys that stretched for hundreds of miles. Mars wasn't red, it was gold and green, bursting with energy, and in that ancient sunlight, life stirred. If you look closely at those oceans, you'd see coral forests rising from the depths, soft structures glowing in turquoise light. Tiny creatures floated in the current, changing color as they fed on sunlight. On land, moss-like carpets spread between rocks, releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. Then came motion, strange creatures crawling onto shore. They were unlike anything from Earth, transparent, fluid, with veins that glowed faintly blue. Some grew limbs, some formed shells. Mars was becoming a living planet. As centuries passed, storms sculpted canyons and plains. Lightning filled the skies every night, and within that chaos, intelligence evolved. You walk across the plains of Elysium and find patterns carved into the rock, perfect circles, triangular towers half buried in dust. They're aligned with distant stars. Even today, scientists detect magnetic shapes under those same regions, rings of iron that form impossible symmetry. Who made them? Were they the planet's first civilization, half organic, half machine? Maybe they drew power from the magnetic field itself, harnessing energy the way we burn fuel. Imagine glowing cities under glass domes, towers breathing steam into a violet sky, ships hovering silently above oceans of fog. It might sound like fiction, but traces remain, fossilized patterns that look engineered, not natural. And then came silence. The change began slowly. Mars's molten core began to freeze. Without its spinning magnetic field, solar winds from the sun started tearing at the atmosphere. First the storm stopped, then the clouds vanished. The once blue oceans began to boil away, leaving salt plains that glittered under a weak sun. Civilizations panicked. Records etched into stone spoke of the thinning sky. Creatures fled underground as the temperature dropped and radiation filled the air. If you stood there, you'd see your world fade, green to gold, gold to rust. Within a few million years, Mars was dying, but its inhabitants weren't ready to vanish. They prepared for something greater. Deep beneath the frozen crust, far from sunlight, the last survivors built vast underground cities powered by geothermal energy. The air was thin, but they adapted. They used biomachines, creatures bred to filter air and recycle water. Every heartbeat of the planet kept them alive for a little longer. They knew they couldn't last forever, so they built the arcs, massive crystal pods designed to carry genetic material beyond Mars. When the final volcanic eruption shattered their sky, those pods were launched into space. Some disintegrated, but a few collided with a young blue planet, Earth. Billions of years later, scientists discovered meteorites from Mars containing organic molecules and bacterial fossils. Could those be the remnants of that lost world? If so, life on Earth may have begun as a Martian experiment. We may not just be visitors to Mars, we may be its children. Today, our rovers still find clues. Frozen lakes under the poles, seasonal methane bursts that appear for hours, then fade, magnetic readings that pulse in rhythm as if something beneath the surface still beats like a heart. When night falls, sensors detect faint vibrations deep underground, too regular to be tectonic. Some scientists think it's geological, others wonder if it's something alive. Maybe the last of them, those ancient builders, still exist in dormant hibernation, waiting for warmth to return, waiting for someone to wake them. Now humans send rovers and probes, dreaming of colonization. But what if Mars remembers us? What if the soil recognizes the DNA it once gave away? As we step onto its surface again, we may not be exploring a new world. We may be coming home. Imagine the first astronaut standing on Martian soil, hearing a faint hum through their boots, a pulse echoing from below, ancient and familiar. The signal might not be a greeting. It might be a memory. 1 billion years ago, Mars gave birth to life. Today, that life returns to revive it. The red planet sleeps beneath its dust, waiting for the spark it once sent away. Maybe that spark was us. Maybe the story of life isn't about two worlds at all, but one world told twice. And when we finally build cities on Mars again, we won't be colonizing an alien planet. We'll be lighting the fires of an ancient civilization, our own reborn.